Hey everybody, so this is another collective message. Look at me, 2 days in a row. Who is this girl? Okay, so this is actually a love message. So if this isn't your jam, then scroll on. But okay, so this came to me this morning. So what I saw was someone, and so it's me usually when I see it, but if it's someone else, then I'll let you know someone else. But so so I was in a tower, not a tower. I was in a castle, like one of those medieval castles. I was in the castle and I was sitting behind a desk and I had paperwork in front of me. And I was going over like war plans, stuff like that. And I had a general who was also me standing up, kind of in front of me, like as a general would. And someone yelled, there are other people around, but really it was me and the general that I was focused on. So someone yelled, "He's coming." And then I stopped and I'm like, "Who's coming?" And they said, "The emperor's coming." And the general, and I didn't know how to feel about that, but I expected the emperor to come. Like I knew he was coming, I just didn't know when he was coming. And the general stood there and the general said, "What are we going to do?" And someone else yelled, "Batten down the hatches." And immediately I knew that's not the right term. We're in a castle. Batten down the hatches, I think, is a sailing term. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't say batten down the hatches for anything like a castle. Someone yelled, "Batten down the hatches." Very scared, like batten down the hatches, like this emperor is not getting in here. Then I saw moats and I kind of saw like all of our protections that we had up so that the emperor couldn't get in. And then the empress was sitting there and she said, "No, we're going to let him in." And the general turned and looked out the window and said, "It's time." So and there's a second part, but I'll explain that part. So with my visions, when I see things like that, I immediately know what it means in what context. Not immediately. Most of the time it's immediately. Sometimes I may have to like, what does that mean? But it's usually like a couple of minutes. So what that scene means is that you are the empress. So this reading is for the collective who identify as feminine. So definitely you identify as a feminine. What it means is that you have your things in order, or you are getting them in order. You are the empress. You weren't the queen, you weren't the knight, you weren't the page, you weren't just a regular person. You were empress. You had a fortress. You had a big, lovely castle that you are in charge of, and that you have everything in working order. You are taking care of business. You are looking at paperwork. I don't even think they had paperwork back then. Maybe they did. I don't know. But you are very much in control. You were sitting down. You were minding your own, but you had your support around you. And again, the support, I didn't feel that was spirit guides. There was different aspects of you. Like it was like I was the general too. And if I would have looked and saw who was the one who was screaming out, like, "Batten down the hatches, what are we going to do?" Kind of that scared, anxious energy. I didn't see that person, but if I would have looked, I would have known that it was me too. But because it was just like these shouts, very intrusive, like, "What are we going to do? Batten down the hatches." And again, even the batten down the hatches part is significant because, like I said, that's not a term you use for a castle. That's more like, let's see, pirates or something like that. So what I felt there as well was that you, in regards to love and opening yourself up, you are using outdated systems, or systems that don't apply, not even outdated, systems that no longer apply to the current situation. So in the past, you used to batten down the hatches. but you're not in that space anymore. It wouldn't even work anymore. You are in a castle now. So what hatches are you batting down? So there's still a part of you that may want to, when this emperor comes in, may want to use old I'm saying navigational, I don't know why I'm using that term, old ways of doing things. I can't think of the word right now, but it's no longer suitable. It won't work. Like, even if we did try to batten down the hatches, there's no hatches to batten down. It won't work. But because I said, no, we're going to let him come, that's indicative of you being like, no, I'm not. I'm no longer hiding from this. I'm no longer going to self-sabotage. And that's what it is too, right? Self-sabotage. I'm going to allow this in. And then the general just turned around, had her hands, well, it looked like a man, but it was me, clasped behind the back and was looking out the window. So you are waiting for this and you still have your guard up, but you are saying, okay, well, we're going to see what happens. And that is like a lovely message that talks about so much growth. Even if you don't feel like you have been working on yourself, or maybe you have been working on yourself and you feel that, but that's just, you have growth there. And the second part of the message is the emperor. So then I saw the emperor come. I saw the emperor on a horse. It alternated between black and white. So you go look it up and see the significance. So sometimes it was white horse, sometimes a black horse. I couldn't really pin the color down, so I wanted to make that clear. But the emperor was stoic, sitting on this horse, looking straight forward. And it reminded me of the Six of Wands card. The person, because he did have a banner coming in. So he had now I see the banner is white. So the banner is coming in. I knew exactly who this was. This was the emperor. There was no mistaking like who this was. This was the emperor sitting on this horse. Just the command he had. Eyes straight, eyes on the prize. So he is coming in. It wasn't like a fast like gallop. It was just a steady pace coming straight for you. So, and that's why I said, again, it is more of a feminine reading because of the emperor and the empress. It was very clear. Like the empress was there in her castle and the emperor was making his way to her. Eyes, like he knows exactly where he's going and what he's going to do when he gets there. So yeah, so that's why I say it's a love. It's most, it's really just a love reading. So for you all, I think you may feel that your emperor is coming. That I don't know if it's past person, future person, like I don't know any of that, but you feel your person is coming because everyone in the castle knew this person was coming and was waiting. So this message, so if you feel that person coming for you, no matter new, old, if you feel they're coming, yeah, this message is for you. They are on their way.